Boomer Sooner.
Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry and Rob here. Boomer up.
Sooner Terry.
And we are coming at you from the Podcast Palace in beautiful Norman, Oklahoma.
Where we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
But we do have eligibility left. Oh, got to grab my little note. And first off, thanks for joining us for the podcast. We're going to do a quick little video about this bull crap going on with the Bedlam series. But a shout out, check out
Terry. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
tailgatingchallenge.com, tailgateconnect.com, and oklahomaversustheworld.com. Those are our podcast partners. So, Rob, go. Turn it on,
First
brother.
of all, let me just say I'm ashamed that we're following Texas to the SEC for the money. Don't you just want to grab Gundy by the little
Next.
slap the crap out of him?
Yeah.
Following Texas.
Following Texas.
Oh my God.
The dumbest thing I've heard. Oklahoma State is trying to run and scatter and say this is all Oklahoma's fault. You know, when we went to the SEC, when that was announced, they were mad because they didn't get to go. And Oklahoma's following the money instead of the state. Well, duh, it's a business.
And they would do it in a millisecond if the SEC was interested in them.
Right.
But guess what? You suck and nobody wants
you.
Nobody wants you.
You bring nothing to the table, Oklahoma State,
no GPA,
for any
no
conference.
Attendance, no wins, no nothing.
Nothing whatsoever.
A fake 1945 national championship.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing. We've had some players on the podcast, Rob, and I tweeted it out yesterday. It was either PJ Mills or I don't want to misquote any of the guys that have been on our podcast, any of the former players. But I know one of them said when we were talking about recruiting and we were talking about Oklahoma State and the rivalry, it was, look, man, when they recruit people, when Oklahoma recruits players, they tell them you're going to play Texas every year. You're going to play one big non-conference game every year. You're going to be in the Big 12 title. Nobody tells them you're going to be playing Oklahoma State every year.
We get to go to Stinkwater and play OSU
in a field that goes the wrong way.
Nobody says that.
Yeah, no. The bottom line is this. Well, I don't want to say the bottom line. Here's several points, that we've already brought up. But one is this: that they could follow along. We could play this game every year. Oklahoma State doesn't want to. I kind of stumbled around on what I was trying to say, but
of course they don't want to.
Right, because it's a non-conference and it's an automatic non-conference loss every year.
For sure.
But everybody needs to remember that it's 90, 19, and 7. So basically, once every 12 years, I'm not good at the new math, but once every 12 years, Oklahoma State wins.
Yeah, it's laughable what he's doing. He's almost comparing apples to oranges here.
Right.
So, they're leaving to go play or whatever. But we already said we will still play you every year.
Yeah.
They're like, no, y'all are leaving. You're not playing us. It's y'all's fault. Okay, whatever.
Do you know what Oklahoma should do? Okay. Is throw out the big hand, go, y'all don't fix your schedule to play us every year. We play you in nothing.
Right. No, I was going to say that same thing.
They would lose a ton of money.
No basketball, no softball.
Right. Just say, hey, make it work. Because I'm
going to be a little sissy, right?
Right.
They're going to treat you like a little sissy.
Right. And, they keep our schedules out to 2035. Okay. Did anybody not see what happened to Oklahoma and Georgia and Tennessee last week? SEC tells Georgia and Tennessee, drop that game. Okay. What, in an hour?
Like that.
In an hour, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Georgia had somebody else to play.
Right. And they could too. They just don't want to give up the Sisters for the Poor school that they're playing.
They want to play. They want to play Tulsa. They want to play
Tulsa.
That's the new Bedlam
that they can beat.
Right.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Yeah,
But stop putting it off on us.
yeah. It's just say it is, hey, we would prefer not to schedule this strong of a non-conference opponent every year.
Well, they're not going to say that. Right? You don't say that to your big brother.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to wrestle you because you're going to kick my ass.
Yeah. Well,
right?
Wrestling is a little bit different thing with Oklahoma and Oklahoma. But no,
you know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah. But it's comical how they, are pushing it on. Well, it's, Oklahoma went to the SEC, so we can't play that game anymore. In Oklahoma, Joe Castiglione has said, I've read it in 3 different places, that we have reached out to continue the game with no response from Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is, well, they gone to the SEC.
Basically, Joe Castiglione is like, hey, you're a daisy if you do.
Yeah. Come on.
Like, no, we ain't got no beef with you. No,
Blinken Riley tweeted out today, you chose Tulsa over Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And somebody, put on it, well, you're smarter than that, Oklahoma chose not to. And somebody tweeted on it, we chose Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, and the SEC instead of you. So who's stepping up? Oklahoma is stepping up.
Here's the other thing. You remember back, it's been several years now, they changed the way they held their season tickets so that we couldn't go in there and buy up all the for the game in Stillwater. Right. You had to buy a package of them to get one. So now what are they going to do?
Yeah.
What else is going to buy those tickets?
Yeah. And look at the revenue they're going to lose off of this game.
So now your 44,000 seat stadium is still going to only have 20,000 people in it.
Right.
And 10,000 of those are workers.
Right. Do they really have 10,000? No. Yeah, well, and probably 5,000 of those are volunteers. So, because they don't get paid. They probably don't pay them.
Well, here's the thing. You're going to get all but hurt. You're going to lose revenue. It's going to hurt them in recruiting. Right? Yeah. Some of those kids go to Oklahoma State because we don't want them just to play against us. I mean, I'm not saying it's a big percentage, but some of them do. Right? It's the biggest game on their schedule.
Right.
Is that true?
Period. Yeah.
Period.
And with us schedule and Texas leaving, who's the next big game on their schedule? Who are they going to play now?
Not the whole thing with Texas Tech and the pew pew pew.
Pew pew. Yeah.
Right? Don't they both have the pew 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 thing going?
It's going to be battles of the pew pews.
Higher voice. Pew pew pew. Isn't that better?
Right. Pew pew pew. It's just, quit deflecting it. Hey, if it wasn't for David Boren, 4 or 5 years ago, saying, when they tried this before, saying we're not going without Oklahoma State.
Right.
Okay. Everybody in the world knows that David Boren did that. They come with this and they went, never mind.
They said, we don't want them.
We don't want them.
Don't bring anything.
There's a reason why the SEC hasn't reached out to Oklahoma State. They bring nothing to the table.
Well, the SEC,
they already got a Vanderbilt in the SEC. So,
yeah, they, am I right? The SEC, and they would have went.
Right.
Any team, you pick a conference, any team would have said, yep, we're coming.
Yep. That amount of money, that amount of competition. Because right now, and it's only going to get better, right now, the players want to play in the SEC. Yeah. Everybody will tell you that. They want to play in the SEC. This is just a bigger hold for Oklahoma on recruiting and going to build it even stronger than what it already is. So it's crazy that Oklahoma State, because that could be a recruiting tool for them. It could be, hey, we're going to play, we're going to play Oklahoma every year. You're going to have your chance to step up on a national stage and shine. They're not going to have a national spotlight game anymore. Oklahoma State needs to figure this out. And honestly, other than just the giggling back, bragging rights in Oklahoma, I don't care. I could care less if we play Oklahoma State.
No, I don't care. In fact, I'd rather not.
Yeah. It
makes, I don't give two craps about it.
Right.
I'd rather play Nebraska again. I'd rather
And
play
bingo.
Nebraska every year than Oklahoma State every year.
Right.
And I'll tell you something else, Terry. Next year when we go into the SEC, us in Texas, there's only one other team in the entire nation, in my opinion, that has a chance to win a national title.
Who's that?
That's the Ohio State University.
Yeah.
Outside the SEC.
Right. That's it.
That's it. Ohio State's the only one that's even got a shot, in my opinion. I could be proved wrong. But when we go into the SEC, it's either going to be Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma. That's probably it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're right.
Ohio State.
Yeah. I mean, it's, and again, what is that? Sooner fans, on Twitter and everywhere are just like, play us, come on. Joe Castiglione, not in those words, is we reached out, they don't respond, so obviously who doesn't want to continue it? And then Mike Gundy and everybody standing out there, they left. So let's put it like it is. They're
like
the
it's
ones
a bad thing. Like it's a bad thing.
Yeah. I guarantee it. When he found out Oklahoma was leaving and they weren't, he sat back and smoked a cigarette like he'd just done 4 hookers. I'm telling you, he did. Wouldn't you? It'd be like, whoo.
Yeah. Well, there's no way he's ever going to catch us.
No.
Right? And how many years has he been at OSU?
I don't know.
And what has he got? 2 victories?
Yep, 2.
Like 16 years. So he's 2-14 or whatever it is.
And let's remember this, guys. Kansas State, who was the worst program in college football history until Bill Snyder got there, has a better record against Oklahoma than Oklahoma State does. Oh, and so does
Tulsa has a better record against us. Huh?
Everybody has a better record against us than Oklahoma State.
Well, yeah. Because we own them.
Yeah.
We own them.
It's just that simple. So Oklahoma State, I put out a little tweet. You've seen it on the cover of this video. It's the Oklahoma State Cowards. That's their new name. They're coward.
Hold back, Terry. Tell us how you really feel.
Just step up. And if you don't want to play us, guess what? We're going to be playing in the SEC, and we're going to be playing teams like Michigan. We're going to be playing teams like who else we got coming in here?
We got Nebraska in a few more years.
In a few more years, we're going to be playing top tier teams. That's going to get us recognition outside of the US, outside of USC, and you're not. You have gone from irrelevant to no relevance whatsoever. You will not be heard of again, Oklahoma State, if you don't fix this and come and play us. If not, bye. We don't need you.
Well, if they don't want to play us, and that's fine if they don't, they need to up their non-con schedule. They need to be playing USC and Michigan and somebody from the SEC.
Right. And
because honestly, they could fall into the mediocrity of the Big 12 and be
the Big 12 the Big 12 has become the Mountain West when we leave. There is nobody of significance in that conference. Nobody.
Yeah, and in fact, I think BYU has got a chance to rule a roost.
Yeah.
Of course, it depends on what Iowa State does. If they're able to hang on, Iowa State and Kansas State, I think they can hold on to their coaches. They can probably run the Big 12 because honestly, nobody else will.
Yeah. I mean, it's not very soon. They're going to be out of the Power 5, I believe. They're not going to be considered Power 5. They're going to be a Central Florida type team who's not going to be able, only way they're going to get in is that at large. And what have we got, a 12-team playoff coming up in a couple of years? If they win the Big 12 or not large, but I've just got a feeling that the Big 12 is just going to go away. It's irrelevant, period. Moving, after Oklahoma and Texas leave. So, and it's just ridiculous. It just ticks me off that they're trying to deflect it onto Oklahoma. Yeah. And it's really like, well, they're the ones who left. That's just it, guys. I mean, come on, they left. So that's why we're not playing the game. Really?
Well, Nebraska left the conference. We still played them.
Yeah. I mean, And conference realignment has, rent the OU, Nebraska, the backyard brawl with Pitt. It has done that, but it doesn't have to,
Not this one for
Right.
sure.
Well,
I mean, they're 70 miles down the road.
how many years in a row have we played Texas non-conference?
Right.
Oklahoma,
Yeah, when they were
yeah,
they were Southwest
Conference.
We were Big Eight.
Yeah. I mean, for years that was a non-conference game. Oklahoma played Texas and somebody else big every year, because they wanted to. They wanted that challenge. Oklahoma State doesn't want the challenge. They don't want that guaranteed L on their non-conference record moving forward.
I got to be honest with you, he just looks bad when he's talking. He's like, "Well, I don't really want to talk about it, but I do have all these points to talk about it."
And he pulled out notes.
Wait, what?
He pulled out.
Yeah.
He had little notes. Like,
I don't want to talk about it, but here's my notes.
I do have my notes on it, and let me tell you what I think.
Yeah.
So, but Bedlam's gone. It's gone. Oklahoma State has tucked tail and run from Bedlam.
Yep.
So,
and I don't blame him. Get tired of getting handed to me too. So
yeah.
But I agree with you. I think if they're not going to play some football, then we're done with them.
Yeah.
You don't get the basketball, the baseball, of anything.
Yeah. Just think of what revenue that's going to hit. When you take all that revenue away from them. I don't know. But we'll see. But as of now, Bedlam is gone, and I sleep fine.
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
We can be the bad guys that left the conference,
right,
and went and made a whole bunch of money and become rich and famous,
and play for national championships that we
play
don't
the best
have to
teams in
write
the country every year. Yeah.
We'll be that and not play Bedlam.
Yeah, top 5 recruiting class.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. Well, guys, drop comments down here on YouTube of what you think, whether you agree or not. I think most Sooner fans agree. Hoping some Pokey fans see this and will drop their little whiny comments. But if they don't, that's okay too. But we will be dropping a podcast soon, new one soon on the K-State game coming up this weekend. But that's it for now. Boomer Rob.
Sooner Terry.
Hey, hold on. Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry.